They told us to follow our dreams, then said they were unrealistic because passions don't pay bills. But what they didn't know is that dreamers make their own victory.
Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Call now for this free book on maximizing your income in retirement. Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers from leading financial firm J.D. Power. That's right, free. This book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms.
I have an annuity, but I need
Because we're about to offer you this free book that
J.G. Wentworth. I need J.G. Wentworth.
you should know before buying an annuity, and it's free. Call 800.
I'm the backwards man. I'm the backwards man. You can't walk as back as I can. You can't walk as back as I can.
Summarize rates and benefits of annuities, all from
What are you doing, Dad?
insurance company. Call 800.
Transferring the blood pressure details.
Accounting?
No, I'm trying to talk to him.
Sure. Well, I wanted to tell you that there's this really, really influential band, and apparently they're from Cleveland, and their first album's from 1988. I had no idea where or when it was from. You know, there was a few bands like that when I was growing up, and some of my friends at school would be like, "You never listen to this music because you don't know what it means." Kind of like Limp Bizkit. It was like Generation X music, and it's like, you know, Big Brother music. I don't know what. You know, Kelly used to live down the street, and her cousin, you know, he was older, and, you know, he was cool. He got us into Limp Bizkit, and come to find out all these years later, I'm working at a restaurant, and I find out that bacon, you know, a diner that serves breakfast, and limp bacon is the term for like undercooked bacon, you know. All these people are telling me, you know, do you know what this song means? And it's like, I don't think they know what it meant, you know, but it's kind of funny all these years later. You know, I'm thinking about like my English courses in college, how regressive my essays were. They're really bad. It's like you're using these phrases, you don't know what they mean type thing. My English professor ladies, you know. One of them's like, I want you to step into my office so we'll talk about your grade this one time. And that was in like 2007, I think. But anyways, in the 1970s, the best-selling album of all the 1970s was Pink Floyd's, I think The Wall, but they also had The Dark Side of the Moon. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? A Floyd in like British English? A Floyd. It's an adult sex toy, okay, for women. And so if I was gonna for the women people is what I meant to say, but if I was telling because it's like I was just about to make a video of, I'm watching the video that I made when I designed a cover album mashup of Sgt. Pepper and Led Zeppelin. It has a big chrome, you know, Zeppelin, and I have it over here. And it's right here. And it's like, when you see it, it's that meme, when you see it. It's like, hold everything and let me find out. So I'm looking right here. What are these words? And then boom. I'm typing with diamonds. And there it is. if you want to see. If you look right there, you miss it. If you blink, you'll miss it. In this texting, you look at the bottom here. I did this to Hayden one time, but I didn't show him the camera. Look, you see the words popping up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Look right above where the camera is, the display. Hang on. Typing diamonds. Do you see that word? That's what a Floyd means in British English. And so if I ask the AI, this is Bing AI, I'm asking it to design me a cover. They have a designer thing. If I ask it, what does it mean? You know, I thought it would be funny. Video game culture nowadays is kind of like, you know what the most kind of annoying thing about people your age might be, but it funny as it is annoying, is talking about the history of bands. You know, like, I don't care who played bass for who in 1972. You know what I mean? Let alone 1973. Right? You know what I mean? All the big lists. It's like a grid, like you're drawing, like of names and like instruments and stuff. Oops. Right here. Like you got a timeline. You know? I used to always hold my phone like this, but after...
Talk about Manpower at Lincoln Tech.
Oh, you remember the robot place that we went to at University of Texas at Arlington branch over there in Fort Worth? That one time?
Of course.
About 10 years ago, we went to see their... You know, Boston Dynamics is the biggest company, but long story short,
Open house.
nowadays the tech industry is kind of different than it was in, say, the 90s or the 80s, where it's kind of just the concept of what technology can do, designing this product and look at the potential of this product and what it could do. So I could combine Boston Dynamics robots with real social dynamics concepts and technology of pickup artistry. And because I've exhausted my wingman, you know, if I asked you to go approach a girl outside and try to get her phone number, you know what I mean? It's just exhausted at this point. I don't want to even, people won't even send an email for me. It's like, can you send an email for me? You know, of course I could do it, and I'm sending you an email right now. I'm competent and capable enough to send you an email, but could you just forward this email? You know, people are like, no, I'm not going to jump through a hoop for you and stuff like that. The Simpsons made a joke about that with Milhouse and Lisa. Lisa asked Milhouse to give a letter to someone, and he's like, he starts, the gears turn in his brain. He says, she wants me to do something for her, and he's like, no, it'll impress her if I don't do it. But long story short, there's so much potential with this pickup artist robot. I could design it, have the designer design me schematics, electronics, plastics, all the things that compose this robot remote control little car. Design it to look like Inspector Gadget's DeLorean from that cartoon in the early 1980s, but that was what I watched on TV growing up here. You know, they showed reruns without cable, but not that I'm complaining, but this has so much potential. If you remember, you know, Back to the Future 1 was actually after Inspector Gadget that had the DeLorean. Well, okay. You understand, and
How much potential?
well,
That's what I'm saying. This AI shit,
yeah,
that it's just shit. The potential is
yeah,
the wingman thing, bringing me shit and bringing me a beer. If I
well,
want.
let me just,
Somebody's had to take that object and make it a product.
well, the product is the company and the workers, and, you know,
Across the board, like thousands.
in financial terms, they have hedge funds and angel investors and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's the potential of the thing. It's like more of making kind of a useless product that has potential, you know, just the dream of it kind of like the Italian mob used to just sit around and talk about what scheme they're going to pull off indefinitely and like never pulled off any schemes, you know? But this thing has so much potential. Like, if you remember Back to the Future 2, when Ronald Reagan is the robot in 2015, he's like the server at a diner, like I just said about bacon. He's like, how would you like your bacon? Cooked. He's like glitching and stuff. When Marty McFly goes into the bar in the future in 2015. And so if I dress this robot up to look like either Mystery, aka Eric Von Markovic from the pickup artist community, the leader, he was on Conan O'Brien, almost went on Saturday Night Live, but you know, they made a sketch about him instead. But it's close enough. I was in that before that, and we were all kind of like cheering him on. He had the pickup artist show on VH1, very official, you know, signified the end of music television and MTV, and that was around the time I was in college. But long story short, if I could dress it up to look like him, people would know what this robot is. You know what I mean? And then it'd be like, even in his voice, I could be talking with the voice filter, voice changer, like, you would really love my friend David's ideas. Would you like to meet him? And then it's like, I'll show a picture of me on my Facebook and stuff, or like the video game culture channel that I'm a part of, and I have been a part of the PlayStation Underground since I was in first grade. Okay. And Twisted Metal 1, the earliest, first release games of the PlayStation 1. You know, it was originally going to be a disc drive Nintendo, and David Jaffe was working for Nintendo, but he left Nintendo to start PlayStation, Sony, and the rest is history. I mean, it's like these companies are so large today. They're larger than the government, like when John Lennon said Elvis is bigger than Jesus or whatever. It's like these companies are bigger than the government. The large ones, at least. But so that video game culture is talking about video games that you've never heard of, Roblox, Nvidia, all these, like, those are confusing and annoying enough to hear about all the time, let alone the thousands of video games that premiere every single day nowadays, and the company names and the people that work for them. There's hundreds of people that usually work on these big games, hundreds or even thousands, more than work on a movie. And there's these people that are well known, just like in the 1970s rock scenes, you know, such and such producer of the Beatles, or someone that I do like and respect a lot is he wrote the music for The Italian Job 1969 original version.
I was a Papa to see that.
Mamas and Papas?
Oh, Papa. He liked it.
Oh, Papa himself, your father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I was listening to George Jones yesterday because I made the AI voice songs, but this has so much incredible potential, and yet I've seen articles, they had a robot who was trying to cross the country, and as he made it about halfway across the country on the freeway, some thugs beat him to death and threw him in a ditch on the side of the road. So I see that potential there. And so I'd have to be able to, with my prototypes to get destroyed. I am liable, just like you, to have a nervous breakdown and pulled, like, trying to get a refund at Walmart. You know, I go to Walmart and say, this TV's defective, I need a new one. And they start pressing me, and I'm like, fold under questioning. But this robot thing, there's so much potential. Like I said, if I made it look like Ronald Reagan from Back to the Future, the highest form of social dynamics is this political stuff that's going on, you know, at least in my opinion. And, you know, there's relationships that are just as important, if not more important, but people don't, you know, worry about it as much. But I just see so much potential if I made my little robot wingman kind of like R2-D2, you know, be like, you're my only hope, Obi-Wan. And I'd either name it Obi-Wan or R2-D2 or Sender. You know, he sends messages. He's like a physical email sender. Like I write the email, he goes bzzz, delivers it to the person in person. And it'd be doing cold approaches is what my idea is. And I don't know what else, but yep, the designer, Microsoft Bing, ChatGPT, designed the schematics, the plastics, the costume of it, the whole artificial intelligence of it, just like a video game character. And I'd be controlling it just like a video game with a remote controller, like you use for your TV. A lot of people your age would laugh at how I'm talking to you like that. Like, you know what a remote controller is, you know. I just watched Batman from 1943 and 49 yesterday. The original televised version was from 43 and 49, the original Batman. And they featured a remote control cars in 1949.
Hitting down the street where I grew up.
Yeah, but the guys did a heist in an armored truck just to steal the remote control car technology in the first episode. What I was interested in wasn't that. What I was interested in was the first episode of the 1960s version that everybody recognizes. You know, in the 40s version of Batman, he just drove a regular car. It looks like a Ford Fairlane or something, or Find Ford Friend. And apparently Ace Ventura in the sequel did a rendition of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the song, in that. And it's really funny. But, you know, Ace Ventura Pet Detective is a lot like Rock and Roll Detective, Ford Fairlane movie from 1990, just before.
Ford Fairlane had nothing but Rambler parts.
Oh, Rambler parts, huh? But more interesting than that, if you know what the Berkshire...
My car broke down one time, and the mechanic quoted it to me.
Okay, but...
You know what a Rambler is?
Yeah, but you don't know that the Berkshire was one of the original trains. You know the such and such stock index was originally a train index in the 1800s? Not the NYSE. What are the other ones, like the NYSE?
No.
Yeah, I think it was the DOW, the Dow. It was like something about only railroad company stocks. And the Fairlane was like the wildest train engine you've ever seen. It could go back or forwards. And it's shaped like that. Like it doesn't have a front or rear end. But that's from the early 1900s. Anyways.
Let's talk manpower.
Let's talk horsepower. But, no, but I wasn't finished what I was saying. Sure. As Ace Ventura would say, my laces are literally out. I never knew what it meant, but it's like, I've had these shoes for so long. Funny enough, Sergey Brin in his lecture at a event was wearing these same, I think the same shoes. Maybe I got the wrong shoes. But on some of my shoes, the laces are literally out, like broken. They're so like torn and tattered. But I guess that's all. I got a lot of stuff to finish up on the stuff that I said.